Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
Hi, Doggy's Lum. I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, Jot 'em Down store. This is Lum and Abner.
Let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum is still trying to bring the sales method of their Jot 'em Down store up to date by studying the book they recently purchased on modern salesmanship. However, he's having a difficult time trying to teach Abner the underlying principles. As we look in on the little community today, we find the old fellows down at their Jot 'em Down store discussing the results of their efforts. Listen.
Granny's, I can't understand it, Abner. We've had this book for 2 days now, and our business ain't increased a bit.
Well, that advertisement said that feller in Clinton, Iowa, increased his business 72% in 2 days, Lum.
I know it.
And if anything, our business is falling off. You ain't been reading that book backwards, have you?
Of course not. Maybe we ain't given enough time yet, Abner. One thing, we ain't had enough customers to work it on.
Well, I've been trying out that cheery greeting and all that on everybody that comes in, but they all start backing off like they're suspicious of me.
Well, I believe you've been overdoing that, Abner. Like yesterday when you greeted Mamie Seastrand whenever she come in here. Slapped her on the back hard enough to might nigh knock the breath out of her. I don't think we ought to slap women folks on the back when you greet them.
Well, that book said customers, never said what kind.
Well, I think that's carrying things too far, though. I believe by the time we get through reading the whole book, our sales will start picking up.
Well, that tells you so many things to do in there, I just can't recollect them all.
Well, you don't have to try everything it says on each customer. I was just glancing over a chapter a while ago about that. It tells about the different kinds of customers, how you're supposed to size them up, and how you treat each type.
Well, I think we ought to treat all the customers just the same, not show no favorites, Lum.
Well, they mean some things will work on one type of customer that won't work on another.
Well, what do you mean, type of customer?
Well, they've got a bunch of different types, according to the book. Wait, where is that? I turned the page down, I mean.
Well, you sure been studying that thing, I'll say that for you. Had your nose buried in it ever since
Here it is, right here. There are several types of customers, the most common of which are the aggressive type, the impulsive type, the reticent type, the friendly type, the intellectual type, the indecisive type, the suspicious type, and each must be treated in a different manner.
Well, what if you don't know what kind you're talking to, though, and you use the wrong talk on them?
Well, it goes on to say here that the first thing a salesman has to learn to do is to size up your customer. Find out what type they are.
Well, what's their size got to do with it?
I say you size them up.
Well, yeah, if they come in here wanting a pair of overalls or something like that, but I don't see what difference it makes how big a feller is if he just wants a can of tomatoes or some baking powder. You can't always tell by the size of a feller that way, Lum. Not like Fred Quincy, for instance.
Fred Quincy? What's he got to do with it?
Well, you know how little and skinny he is. I'll put him up again every man you ever seen when it comes to eating. I don't know where he puts it. Down there at the old settlers' picnic this year, they left him there to guard the pies that they was going to use in a pie-eating contest.
Yeah.
Doggies, when it come time for the contest, they weren't a one of them pies left.
You mean he had all the pies by himself?
Well, he claimed there was a big bear come in there and ate him up, but of course everybody knowed it was him.
Yeah. They ought to give him the prize for winning the contest.
Well, they couldn't. They had a big layer cake for the prize, and me dad blamed he hadn't ate that, too.
He must have an appetite.
Well, it just seems to sort of hit him by spells at eating. Now, they had a watermelon eating contest about a half hour later, and he just won second place in that.
Well, I do know.
And he's just a little bitty skinny feller, too.
Well, size ain't got nothing to do with what they're talking about here in the book, though, Abner. When it says sizing up somebody, it means judging somebody by his looks or his words or how he acts.
Well, you could tell by Fred Quincy's looks what size he was.
I mean, well, it says here, for instance, you can always tell the impulsive type by their fast, quick, nervous motions and mannerisms of speech.
Yeah, well, Fred ate fast, too.
Well, forget about Fred Quincy for a while and listen to this. Concentrate on the book.
Go ahead.
It says here, the way to handle this type of customer is to make the sales talk brief and to the point. Often, a quick demonstration of the article is much more impressive than a long, drawn-out sales argument.
Yeah, well, now, what do they mean there, that demonstration, Lum?
Well, demonstrate it. Show how it works before you try to sell it.
Oh, my doggy, that's interesting.
Oh, this is fine stuff to know here. There's sound reasoning in everything it says, every line of it.
Well, sir, I bound you the feller that wrote that could sell anything, you know it?
Yeah.
I don't reckon he's the one that come through here a few years ago selling lightning rods, was he?
Selling what?
Lightning rods.
Oh, I don't know. I don't recollect that feller's name.
Hell, it might be. He was a seller, I'll say that for him. He weren't here but a few days, and again he left town. He had lightning rods on everything in this town. Even sold old stingy Jim Watson a raft of them.
If he sold old Stingy Jim one, why, he was a salesman, I'll say that for him.
Had lightning rods on everything on his place. House, barn, silo, even a chicken coops. 2 on his wagon and 1 on the plow. Had everything lightning rodded.
For goodness sake. Well, you see, he must have found out just what type Stingy Jim was and knowed the right way to handle it. See, Stingy Jim is sort of the suspicious type, and a little on the indecisive type, if I know just what that means. See, what it says here about him. Find out just how he handled old Stingy Jim.
Yeah, read what it says. I'd love to sell him something.
The suspicious or indecisive type are very slow to make up their mind.
That's Stingy Jim right there.
And contrary to the impulsive type, a long and persuasive sales argument is most effective. The first step in handling this type is through gaining their confidence. This is usually accomplished by first discussing subjects in which they are interested, rather than rushing immediately into a sales argument.
Now, cripple that and run it through again, Lum. I believe I jumped the track there on you.
Well, it means don't be in a rush to sell them. Sort of visit with them. Talk about things they're interested in. Find out what they like. Now, with Stingy Jim, he loves money, and if I was going to undertake to sell him something, I'd get on the subject.
Lum, Cedric, we hunt, Cedric.
Well, now, Cedric's sort of that type we're just reading about.
Well, he ain't stingy, Cedric.
No, but he's slow about making up his mind and all, sort of the suspicious and indecisive type. Now, you try to rush him into a deal, and he'll balk on you.
Oh, well, I know just how to handle him. He loves to fish and hunt.
Yeah.
I'll get to talking to him about that and see if I can't sell him something.
Yeah, this is a good chance for you to try it out. Now, just take your time.
Yeah, mind out.
Yeah, howdy, Cedric.
Come in, Cedric.
Well, howdy. Mr. Abner, could I get about 5 pounds of horseshoe nails right quick?
Why, sure, Cedric, sure.
You helping your pa over at the blacksmith shop now, Cedric?
No, Mom, just this afternoon I am. They got him swamped under over there. Shoeing 1 span of mules and got 3 teams a-waiting.
Well, you been doing any fishing lately, Cedric?
No, Mom, I ain't, Mr. Abner. About 5 pounds of them nails.
I hear Luther Phillips catched a 28-pound catfish down there in Big Eddy.
Yes, Mom, I seen it down there at the barber shop yesterday morning.
Well, what was a fish doing in the barber shop?
Oh, he just brung it down there to show it off, I think.
Sit down, Cedric, sit down.
No, Mom, I reckon I ain't got time. Paul's waiting on them nails.
Been doing any hunting, Cedric?
Went squirrel hunting last Friday.
Well, where'd you go, over on Old Piney Mountain?
No, Mom, just down there in them Pin Oak Flats along the river there.
Uh-huh. Did you do any good?
Yes, Mom, they're pretty thick down there this year. You ain't out of them horseshoe nails, are you, Mr. Abner?
Oh, Lord, me no, Cedric. Got worlds of plenty of them back there. Now, don't worry about us running out of nothing here at the Jot 'em Down store. You can always depend on us. Whose dog did you take?
Mom, that little Feisty Ezra C. Strunk's.
Little black and white one?
Yes, Mom.
Is he better than that hound Ezra's old trump?
Well, I believe he puts them up a tree better. But what about them nails there?
Oh, well, here, wait a minute. I'll get a hammer back here. I want to demonstrate them to you.
Mom, want to do what?
Wait a minute, Abner. You're getting mixed up there. That ain't for customers like Cedric. That's for the impulsive type. That's demonstrating.
No, sir, you said it was for the spacious type, Lum.
I never done no such
You
thing.
did, too. Don't you know you read it right?
I know what it said. Goodness, let me find out here. I'll prove it to you.
You're going to find out you're wrong, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mr. Abner.
Oh, wait a minute, Cedric. Wait a minute.
I believe it was on this page here.
You're wrong.
Well, get your head out of the way. I can't see nothing. Your head right there in the book.
Oh.
Yeah, here it is, right here. The way to handle the impulsive type of customer is to make the sales talk brief and to the point. Often, a quick demonstration of the article is much more impressive than a long, drawn-out sales argument. See, Grannies, I know the hedges.
Well, I just got the two mixed up together there somewhere, I reckon. Well, all right, Cedric. 5 pounds. Cedric, Where'd he go?
Hey, Cedric.
Oh, there he goes, Lum, across the street into Dick Huddleston's store. Dad, blame that book anyway.
Yeah, well, don't lay it on to the book now, Abner. It's our own fault. We sized him up wrong, I reckon. My granny Cedric must be the impulsive type.